All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Jillian with the whole JJ world, and I want to give you an update what's going on in my world as far as the COVID world that we live in and the high frequencies, the climate change. It is fall, and we already have now a projection of 47 degrees at night and the high of the 60s. And so I actually went outside and saw the winds of change, kind of felt it, and of course, you're seeing what happens when a person has an open immune system, how they have to adapt to the new frequencies, which is the climate, the weather, and then all the DNA that's swirling around in this crazy ass universe. And so I was thinking about South Park and Mr. Hanky. And South Park, The Simpsons, all the different cartoons that were really popular in the 90s and of course even thereafter. We're telling you something. It was a message. I mean, why would those dudes from South Park, the ones that created it, developed it, where the hell they get their information from? Why is Howie Mandel such a germaphobe? Okay? We know that Hollywood has a lot of people with idiosyncrasies and maladies, but a lot of them have been privy to what the future is going to hold, what's going to happen in the future. I mean, even the artists of the 1960s and 70s were talking about the future. They knew the world was going to end as they knew it way in 2020 or 2019. They knew it, and that's what all the songs and all the things were about, movies and songs, and with the whole LSD stuff and all the culture clashes, the gurus, the cult leaders, a lot of experimentation. And so I've noticed a pattern. Now, as far as me getting sick from something, I'm married, so, my husband has what he has, I have what I have, whatever it is. You can give infection back and forth to each other, but one person may feel it every single time they get infected. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just, it is what it is. We humans are always going to be exchanging DNA because we're married or we're hanging out with people in close proximity. You can't help but take on their DNA. But those that feel it, those that get sick, are sensitive to it because they have an open system. But how you respond to sickness will be the difference, okay, of longevity or shortgevity. I made that word up, just so you know. And so I don't know if that whatever relations I have with my husband has incubated and the frequencies brought it up, or it's still something within. It's hard to say. But the symptoms were very similar. My arms were hurting. I've had the same symptoms a couple months back where my arms were hurting, and I, was seeing myself go through a progressive decline as far as energy, a progressive development of mucus, and of course the headache, which today, it's interesting. This morning you heard what I sounded like this morning, and then as later on, as time moved on, I took naps. I left my dog down here. She can't even get up on the freaking couch anymore. I mean, she's going through her own stuff, and I understand that. She couldn't even get upstairs on her own. When I woke up, I had to bring her up the stairs because she just kept walking and walking and walking. I'm like, holy shit. But my dog's going through her own bullshit. So when I brought her upstairs, and I noticed that I didn't poop at all. I ate like 2 burritos this morning. I didn't even drink any coffee or milk. And so I noticed that my bowels haven't moved. I'm blowing my nose like you wouldn't believe, like blowing so hard. So everything's working up here, but down there, things were sluggish. So I'm like, okay, you know what I got to do? I got to go get things moving down there, because that's always been the go-to of feeling better, is that when I feel the headaches, I had a headache when I woke up. I'm like, fuck, I have a headache. And I'm like, okay, what did I do last time for a headache? Oh, that's right. I had to go and manipulate my own freaking bowels to get stuff out. Well, when I did that, I'm pulling out rubbery fucking shit. Rubbery. And it wasn't just like right at the entrance. I actually had to breathe so hard and fucking get it out. Like, get it out and push. It was like little rubbery balls of babies coming out. And it wasn't always right there. Remember, you guys, you need, it's like when you're pregnant, you have to push out that one baby. When you have poop in your system that's running you, that's developing the mucus, that is developing the headaches, that is causing whatever, you have to get that out. Okay, because that is what is burying the babies of mucus. Because once I got rid of that poop, the mucus disappeared. Now I'm drinking milk and giving my body the proteins that it needs to arm itself to then protect itself from any other invading forces that I may come across again. And so this is where you have to really understand your alimentary canal. It's not enough to drink, a coffee or a milk and think, okay, you're gonna get everything out. Because let me tell you, even if I did drink a bunch of milk, there was but the way how everything was so like wanting to stay up there, where I actually had to breathe and do a little bit of sound, like and making those circles of hell, the sphincter muscles open up and push it out. I actually had to push. It was like burying a bunch of fucking poop babies, and it was rubbery. So imagine that type of thing in your system that is stuck in there that you can't get. And I'm telling you, you can't get it out like always just through going to the bathroom. That's not the traditional way of going to the restroom has gone to the wayside. Now you have to do an extra step in this environment. You seriously have to do an extra step. You can't get away with not figuring out how to manipulate your own system to get the stuff out, because it will want to stay in there and control the fuck out of you and produce mucus, the babies. That's what the mucus was the last couple days, was that the high heat, the fever, and those proteins that are rubbery, that when you touch your skin, that's rubbery, right? A little rubbery. When those people were opening up the placenta or embalming, and they're looking in the arteries and capillaries, and they're feeling, it's not a blood clot, but it was something that was rubbery. It looked like a long finger that was growing to the size of whatever it was in. So it looked like a blood vessel, but it wasn't. It was rubbery. It was proteins that was turning into an entity. And so the shit in your fucking colon could be turning into an entity. And if you don't mean to get it out, because let me tell you, when you do feel the pain, like the headache, that is something attacking you. And I wasn't about to sit and fucking just deal with that pain. No. So I had to go take a shower, and I worked that shit out like you wouldn't believe. And it was rubbery little fucking balls of shit. And you're like, well, what, Jillian, maybe it's what you eat, and you're only eating burritos. Honey, when I'm eating burritos, a lot of times before having all this, with infection, it's just regular, loose shit. Not loose, but it was, regular normal shit. When I'm dealing with infection because of something metastasizing, because of the frequencies of whatever I picked up and who knows what, the shit is different. Literally, your shit is different. And people don't realize that that's what is running them. That is what's going to cause so much of the mucus development. The children, the SouthPark children that will run amok and one day destroy the parent. That's what happens out there when you think about allegory, is that they're always talking about children destroying parents. Children, the children of the corn, the bad seed, the demon seed, whatever. And that's exactly also what happens in families, because children need everything all the time, and the parent is just giving until there's nothing left. And then the parent dies, and the child now is the new, head of the family. And that's always been the reality in families. That's what's been bred into us. And then that's also reinforced by all the allegory, the fairy tales, the movies, and all that. But literally also in your body. The children that are in your body are running the shit out of you, and they're destroying people. And even a child could have children of mucus in their body because they have infection. I see people all over my Facebook with kids that are going to surgeries, kids with broken bones, brittle bones, kids that have lung infection. Okay, and they range from being really skinny and looking cute and perfect, right, relative to what perfect is in your society, to like really obese. And these children are suffering because they're the parent cells, and they're burying children in their body as far as mucus. There is something running the shit out of them, burying children in them, running the hell out of them, that will eventually metastasize, and who knows what kind of surgery and other kinds of shit's going to happen in the future. And so then I'm seeing on my Facebook, pray for this and pray for that. My son and my daughter is going to surgery. They're going doing this, they're going doing that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. And so when you think about it, when I say parents who are the future, even a child who might get some kind of, awesome parent that understands this, they're the future too. So everybody can actually be the future, because you're a parent to a bunch of little children that are either going to be under control or turn into infection and destroy you. And so, yeah, the allegory, I watched even The Mummy today, which was actually not the one that with Brendan Fraser, but with Tom Cruise. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff from antiquity that's coming back. We're in a biodome, and we are dealing with now climate change. The heat is exponential. The influence of the heat is causing then the replication to be even more so. And then when people do get their infection or other issues, what do? They take their remedies. They go do their cannabis. They go do their elderberry syrup and apple cider vinegar and turmeric and honey, and take their lemon water. They starve themselves. They starve their kids. It's insane, because that's what parents have been taught, because they don't know any fucking better. They were taught by the system that is trying to destroy them, compartmentalize the situation so you don't put it all together, and then normalize that, yeah, you take antibiotics. Normalize that, yeah, you go to the hospital every single time you feel a pain. Normalize going to your allopathic, your homeopathic, your naturopathic, your osteopathic. Normalize chiropractor stuff. Normalize all the shit that you see all over the fucking natural healing groups. Playing with crystals. Doing the plastic surgery. Trying to live a normal lifestyle. Let me tell you, when you realize what infection is, it's really ABO and the Rh negatives and positives all mixed in together. Yeah, there had to have been a catalyst, right? Well, you can imagine, out of China, there's 1 billion people with so many different blood types. And then you see a predominant blood type in America. It's not difficult to see how that would affect a population, that if you took it down to the individual level and someone who's an O positive received the wrong blood transfusion, and then there's now an infection, a bunch of white blood cells that metastasize so quickly, you can kind of see now what happened. We got a wrong blood transfusion from another country who has probably a lot of different blood types. Or something was developed that was so unique, because you know what the rarest blood type is? It's AB negative. Okay, and so when you have, and then you could also develop hybrids of that, AB negative and O positive and O negative. And of course, with all that DNA, there's diseases within those, and that gets released and mutated, and people are hanging out together, breathing in all of that stuff. So you can imagine with your friends, if you're O positive and they're AB negative or AB or A or B, and you're breathing in their air, can you imagine what kind of microbial war you're entering into, not even knowing it? When you're going to your birthday parties, when you're going into a closed room, especially during the holidays, that's where people are getting so sick, because they don't understand blood types. Because that's what viruses are. Viruses are basically the blood types that are incompatible, that are laced with other types of antibiotics from the natural healing world, because we're using food as medicine, and the oncology world, and all the therapies world. And so you are under attack 24/7. And then when you feel under attack, what do? You attack yourself again with another antibiotic, with another remedy, with another, diet. Watch your Facebook, and another surgery. Okay? And it's all over. It's everywhere. And so when I realized that every single time I go through infection, my fucking poop is rubbered like Mr. Hanky and all of his little SouthPark children, I'm like, that could have been, if I hadn't gotten that poop out, like literally pushed it out like a fucking baby, like burying a child, if I hadn't gotten that out, who knows? I don't even want to go down that road if I haven't gotten the poop out the way I do. That whole understanding poop and understanding your sphincter and understanding the 9 circles of hell, which is basically your sphincter rings, okay? That is allegory to let you know that that is where life and death occur, is in your sphincter, in your colon, or you can call it your gut, your second brain. No, it's your first fucking brain. This is your second brain, because this down here runs this. When I'm making stupid financial decisions, like ordering a pizza that's bigger than I can eat, or when I'm double paying something that's so expensive, and then I put us in a hole for a minute, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, and then oh my God, and then that second brain is scrambling your first brain. Your first brain is scrambling your second brain, your head. You have to clear it down here, and not doing no fucking saltwater flushes all the time, not doing your detoxes. But you literally have to understand how to get the poop out without losing substance, without losing intelligence. You cannot get away with not understanding your sphincter. I don't care if you're a man or a woman or even a kid. Kids need to understand their body, and they don't. And things do metastasize in their colon. And it's awkward. How do you fucking teach your kid how to fucking pull out the poop? When you've been told, okay, just go to the restroom, wipe your ass, and that's it. Oh, yeah, parents don't even, that's what I'm saying. Parents don't even fucking know what is going on. They don't, because of all the social mores and having to feel like everything should be normal, that no one should ever even know about poop or your asshole or anything else. But knowing your sphincter, knowing all this, is going to save your ass. Literally, it's going to save your ass. It saved my ass. Let me tell you, I feel 180 degrees better than when I woke up from my nap around 2 o'clock this morning or this afternoon, because I woke up with a headache. I woke up with a headache, and I'm just like looking, I'm like, this is such a reminder of when I had that co-infection for 3 fucking weeks. And my dog is now finally sleeping, because when she was down here and I was down here, I was taking a nap, and it was not comfortable to sleep on this freaking couch. So I left her up down here. I went upstairs, and then I guess she got up at some point, but she didn't have the strength to go up the stairs. So she kept walking in circles. She couldn't get back on the couch because she has trouble with that, because she's trying to get this monster out of her body, and it's zapping the energy out of her. But she's getting through it. Every single seizure, she gets through it. And that ball inside of her, that freaking entity that's inside of her, that's really inhabiting her and possessing her, it's taking a lot of her strength. And so her body is progressively working it out. And it's going to be a long process, because it's a pretty hard little ball. And that's what people are holding inside of them, and they don't even know it, because their body is like, you don't know what's inside until someone does like an ultrasound or an x-ray, or you feel something, and then you go to the doctor, like, oh yeah, you have a mass right here, and we're gonna have to do surgery and take it out. And by the time that happens, and then it multiplies, all that the cancer multiplies, then they can't do shit, and then they're like, yeah, well, you gotta die at home. And that's exactly where we're gonna be in a world where there's no cancer, because the environment's going to be so aggressive that as soon as you get diagnosed, or as soon as you feel something, it'll be too fucking late to do anything. That's what you're facing. That is what you're facing until you actually face every single demon. And that's what your kids are facing too. And I know it sounds like I'm being a doomsdayer, but let me tell you, I'm experiencing this on such a level, and I'm seeing the patterns, and I'm watching all the mainstream media and all the movies and the shows from when I grew up in my 20s. And it was just a predictive programming, let you know what's going on in an allegorical way that isn't going to be alarming. But if you do figure it out at the scientific level, then watching everything at the allegorical level, you're like, holy crap, they've been telling this story that is actually real for years, for fucking years. But you know how people are. They don't like, oh, no, that's not real. That's not true. You're just a conspiracy theorist. You're just this. You're just that. That's fine. You were bred to do a job. You were bred to look cute. You were bred to be a little influencer and sell all your shit. You were bred to have your kids be given to the system. You were bred to be a lab rat. That's fine. If you want to stay a lab rat and you want to die in the system that you came into under a lab rat type of thing, that's your choice. Now there's something different, but I'll tell you, it's a fucking battle to finally get out of lab rat status, where you're not giving yourself to science. That you are science. You are the one that's going to be like making the observations and making the connections and giving some kind of fucking opportunity to the world that you live in. But let me tell you, the world that you live in is dangerous. We have AB negatives, A's and B's, who are nice people, at the surface level, yes, but microbially, they can kick your ass. And then you have to strengthen yourself. My husband strengthens me every freaking weekend. Okay? He might be O negative. I'm making that assumption. So his O negative might actually be the one that's making me stronger. And then when I give my shit back to him, is it making him weaker? Well, he's aging. So you tell me. But, to be in that kind of war where you're getting strengthened, if you're married to someone who's an AB negative or A or a B, and you happen to be the opposite or the same, but you have the plus and minus, it's the difference. You got like people who are like two Bs, but one's a plus and a minus, the RH factor, they're going to strengthen each other. The negative is going to strengthen the positive. And the positive is going to try to strengthen the negative. The negative can handle it. But usually the negative is the negative. If they have a lot of issues and they don't want to feel it, they're going to take more stuff that's negative and take them down. And the positive is going to convert everything and be the one that's to win that war. And so that's why you have to know the fucking blood types. That is what's not being told to you. You're being told that everything is fucking poison. You're being told that the water and the food and the elements are poison, but in reality, it is your blood type that is what is attacking friends and family. It is the people that you hang out with. It is all your friends who are opposite blood types or the same, but they have secondary programming that is attacking you at the micro level. But you'll never think that because you guys have fun together, right? You're partying together. You're going on trips together. You wear the same clothes together. You do mommy and me groups every fucking weekend. I mean, so how can you even say that, oh yeah, my friends are attacking me at the micro level? Well, you look at your participation in the medical holistic system. That's why I say blow your nose. It's going to widen your eustachian tubes. It's going to open up your diaphragm. It's going to give you the pressure to get the poop out. But even with me blowing my nose, as hard as I was, it wasn't getting those little balls of fucking rubbery shit out of my body. I had to do something extra because blowing my nose wasn't enough. That's how bad it can get. That's why you cannot assume that you can get away with not fucking putting your finger in your ass and pulling the shit out, especially when you get sick. You have to really, really want to get to understand your alimentary canal and the places that you know you can reach. Okay? And I mean, that's my advice to you guys is to don't be afraid of any of your orifices. Do not, because anyone that's afraid of their orifices, it'll be the death of them. And they will have a Mr. Hanky controlling the fuck out of them, creating little babies inside of them that will metastasize. And you won't be able to come back from that because you've allowed those babies to multiply and multiply and multiply, like rats that don't have any cats or any predators. Mice multiply. Roaches multiply. Mucus multiplies when it has something that is negative inside of a positive. Okay? This is crazy. And so, it is what it is, but you have to survive every change in season. And the more you take your antibiotics, the more you take all your remedies, the more you take anything that stops the energy, you're keeping Mr. Hanky inside. That's what I'm saying. Those who take the J juice because they have constipation, you're just keeping that shit inside of you. Because yeah, some stuff might come out. But let me tell you, there's antibiotic resistance. That's for those who take antibiotics. But there's things that the body, you'll be cured, which means you won't be pooping and you won't be eating that much. And so the programming will stay inside that's working against you. So there's my uplifting speech for the day. Good luck, you guys. You're going to need it. Seriously, you're going to need it. All right, bye.